In this video, we're taking a look at one of the most simplistic approaches to auto detailing that I know of and how I built my auto detailing business off of this one key thing. We're also going to be walking through the entire exterior detail of this awesome BMW. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, so the vehicle we're looking at today is just a mid-size SUV BMW. I believe it's 2019, I'd have to confirm, but you guys will start noticing a theme in many of my videos because one of the things that I'm going to tell you to look out for in this video particularly is the hydrophobic properties that you're going to pick up on if you have a detailed eye when you are looking at me pressure washing the paint before and after the wash. And the only reason I'm pointing that out is because this is really the major thing that changed my business. And so while yes, I talk about maintenance clients a lot, and of course the online course that I'm building out right now is going to be basically a step-by-step blueprint on how to wrap your business around maintenance clients so as to leverage your time in business in an exponential way. To get even more specific, the one thing that really revolutionized my detailing business was not only maintenance clients and having, what I call an ever-increasing list of maintenance clients, and therefore an ever-increasing an ever-increasing amount of dependable, profitable, or a dependable, predictable cash flow and revenue every month. But on top of that, most, say 80% or 90% of these maintenance clients actually are fairly, say, OCD about their cars themselves, and so they always keep them really protected, like way above average. And my point in saying that is, once again, as you guys are going to see when I pressure wash this car, there is already a layer of protection on this vehicle that did not come from me. And the reason why I'm making a specific point to really emphasize that is because while yes, having maintenance clients is incredible, if your maintenance clients are trashing their vehicles or your quote unquote, what I would say like time frame for maintenance clients, like let's say you include a 3-month time frame in between when you see the vehicle. Let's say you consider that a maintenance client. Well, if every time you see that vehicle every 3 months or 4 times a year, it's totally trashed, then you're actually just devaluing your business, devaluing your time. You're spending the same amount of time you would on a totally new customer and being paid a maintenance rate or a maintenance client price, which I think is a very grave mistake. On the flip side of that, let's put it on a continuum and pretend like that's on the far left side of the continuum. On the far right side, you have a vehicle that is maintained very regularly, let's say at minimum once a month. But even so, the customer themselves are actually maintaining the vehicle at some level, whether that's through an automatic car wash, which I know, again, makes detailers, including myself, kind of squirm. But if your customer wants to do that, then who are you to tell them not to? And I'm not here to cause fights with my customers. However, they are keeping their cars washed apart from what I am doing. So there are entire customers that I have who literally look at kind of washing their car as a sort of therapy. And so on Saturday morning, they want to get out there and actually enjoy doing it and want to do it. And so they hire me to literally take care of the details, hence the detailing. I even have some clients who I actually require them to go through a car wash before I get there. So that's happened on several different occasions when we're talking about price and trying to get something inside of their price range, talking them through, well, if you want me to take care of the details, then you can take care of the brunt of the work by going through a $5 car wash and, taking care of it that way. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why would anyone take their car through an automatic car wash? However, if you professionally detail and if you've seen a lot of cars, you know just as well as I do, not every single car is a showpiece and not every single car owner is someone who cares about swirl marks or wants to care about swirl marks. They simply want a shiny car, and they've been taking their vehicle through automatic washes for years anyways, and so it's not in anyone's best interest to try to change that, especially if it's a mom, kid, hauler, sort of thing. So anyways, all of that being said, my point here is that the main difference you find in many of the vehicles I show, including this BMW, is the fact that while yes, they are maintenance clients, the vehicle itself stays in near perfect condition. Now, why is that something that revolutionized my business? Well, because when that happens, you can, at a very high level and a very accurate level with a scary amount of predictability, basically see into the future and identify key areas of the vehicle that are going to require the brunt of your attention, and then you can basically eliminate every other area that doesn't require a bunch of focus or time. What do I mean by that? You'll see that in all of my videos, there's certain things I emphasize as far as what you see in the video, what you see me literally detailing. One of those areas are the wheels, tires, and the wheel wells. Why is that? Because no matter what car I'm dealing with, no matter how well it's maintained, while yes, on these awesome maintenance client vehicles that I have, while yes, the wheels, tires, and wheel wells do not get as dirty, those are an area of each car that is going to be dirty, that is going to take a fair amount of time, no matter which car I'm dealing with every single time. It doesn't take a genius or a psychic to know that that is going to be the case. It's one of those kind of read between the lines things that I include in my videos. Why are you always seeing me clean these at a higher level? Because these are the things that touch the road. They're the things that take on the brunt of the road being a jungle and the elements that it faces and all of those sort of things. They're going to take a fair amount of time regardless. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but there is kind of this phenomenon where once you pass a certain threshold, a certain variable no longer matters. And so what I mean by that, I can give you an example here. For example, there's a lot of studies that show once you pass a certain IQ level, so like say once you pass 130 IQ, the amount of money that you make is basically no longer affected. So there's a huge disparity between people who have, say, below a 100 IQ and then people who have above a 115 level IQ. The people who are above make far more money than the people below. But once again, once you pass that certain threshold of, say, about 130, I don't know if that's right, actually. There's a great book on that you could, I think it's in The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. But anyway, you can basically see that once you pass a certain point, your income level is no longer affected. You've kind of like reached the point of diminishing return. This variable is no longer affected. This is kind of the way I look at vehicles like this. While yes, the tires, wheel wells, and wheels can be cleaned to a certain point, at some point, it really doesn't matter because they're kicking up the same level of dirt, the same amount of stuff if it's being driven on a daily basis, and there's a certain amount of time I'm going to have to put in regardless. So yes, there's a big difference between, say, this BMW wheel, tire, and wheel well and, say, the tires and wheel wells on a vehicle that's 10 years old that's driven on a daily basis that's never been detailed. There's a huge disparity there. There's a huge time gap there. But once again, when it comes to these maintenance clients, you kind of reach this point of diminishing return where it no longer matters. While yes, they're very clean, I'm still going to have to spend X amount of time doing this. This is that the predictability that I'm talking about that allows you to basically calculate time and therefore calculate profitability at an extremely high level. Now let me talk about kind of the opposite of this. Say, while the wheels, tires, and wheel wells are going to take X amount of minutes, X amount of time, X amount of dollars need to be priced out with that. Say the paint in this case, which is protected and is therefore going to take far less time. This is something where I'm not going to have to clay bar. I'm going to clay specific areas for very specific reasons, but there's absolutely no need to clay bar the entire vehicle. There's also no need to take any sort of post-wash process with something like Optimum Tar Remover to go around the vehicle because it's not splashed with tar, tree sap, bird droppings, and all of those things. So in this case, the areas that I'm seriously focusing on are number one, wheels, tires, and wheel wells. Once again, once you pass a certain point, it just is what it is. Number two, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the windows because while yes, the windows are extremely maintained, the windows are another one of those areas. Glass is another one of those areas where once you pass a certain point, yes, it's taken care of very well, but guess what? The windshield still gets bugs, tree sap, all this stuff, the rock chips, all that sort of stuff that happens on the road. I'm going to have to clay the windshield, especially the exterior, as well as the rest of the glass because once again, it's just passing that point of diminishing return. Thirdly, the area that I'm going to focus on is the black trim. Why is that? Well, I'm focusing my attention on the wheels, tires, and wheel wells. I'm going to focus another part of my attention on the glass, though neither of those areas are going to take an unnecessary amount of time. The only thing left, because the paint is in such fantastic condition already and is going to take very little time and very little attention, the only thing left is the black trim. On top of that, because it's a white vehicle and because the white paint is in such fantastic condition, the black trim becomes even more important simply because of the contrast. Have you ever noticed that when the black is black lacquer and the white is in really great condition, the whole car looks 1,000 times better. It's one of those kind of 80-20 rules things. The minimal effort, minimal input, and maximum outcome or maximum output. So in other words, I'm not having to spend a bunch of time on this vehicle, but if I spend a little bit of time making some key areas a little bit better, it looks as if the whole thing is orders of magnitude better, like several orders of magnitude. That's kind of the strategy here. The paint is already in fantastic condition. I'm going to coat it and top it with Turtle Wax's ceramic spray, not for any particular reason other than I like the product. It's very inexpensive. I had it on hand. I brought it to this customer's house, and I've been using it just in some different situations here, and it is a longer term protection relative to other spray products. But that being said, once again, minimum input, maximum output. This is really the one thing that really just revolutionized my auto detailing business, is when I started to think this way. And I say this a lot, but it's okay to sacrifice your detailer's ego on the altar of profitability. It doesn't mean you don't need to do a good job. What it means is you need to do a good job on the things that require you to do a good job. You don't need to be spending thousands of hours on the paint in this situation just because there's some ego problem of saying, well, if somebody's going to pay me to detail, then I'm going to touch every single area of the car with the maximum, amount of detailing necessary. It's like, well, that's just not necessary here. And so to let some of that go in order to get fantastic results with less time being put in is actually a very smart, I think, entrepreneurial and business decision. However, a lot of times in the social media world, it doesn't look like that as far as detailing goes. There's kind of an ego in the industry, but I would say that this is just a really good way to look at it from a business point of view. Now, for the Agitation Wash, I am going to be using Sudstorm from Renegade's new detailers line, their professional detailers line. This has kind of become my go-to agitation wash soap. The Sudstorm is. I've got a gallon of it that I just keep filling up this small kind of like 10-ounce bottle with. But this is a wax-safe agitation wash soap. It can also go in a foam cannon, and so I'm using it here because I want to protect whatever layer of whatever coating is on the paint already. So guys, that's the most important thing, and most important thing I want to emphasize in this video here is optimizing. Yes, maintenance clients is absolutely an optimization in your auto detailing business, but even more than that, optimizing for the right kind of maintenance client, somebody who actually in some sense maintains their car when you're not there because they want you to do what you do best, which is focus on the details. This is a recipe for success and for long-term success. The more you can become, say, predictable, the more things you can look at and extrapolate, forecast for in your business, specifically when it comes to revenue, the more you can really optimize for the highest profitability that is possible at the level that you are at. Now, just as a quick rundown so you guys know, for the wheels, tires, and wheel wells, I was using P&S Brake Buster. This is not actually my favorite product, and not to speak badly about it, I'm sure it's a great product for some. It has not worked that well for me, using it full strength in almost every situation, but I'm just kind of trying to run out of the gallon that I have right now. For the foam wash, I used the classic AM Details foam soap that I use almost 100% of the time. Then, of course, the Sudstorm Renegade wash for the Agitation Wash. Then after that, I'm using a Chipmunk microfiber towel from a company called Microfiber Madness. I've been including it in a couple recent videos because it's super, super high quality microfiber. Once again, not sponsored by them. I make no money by saying this. I just want you guys to know the best kind of top of the line products. And when you're dealing with higher end vehicles that are the paint's in really good condition and the customer cares about that kind of thing, it's important to adjust. And sometimes you don't need to be sparing expenses on the by saving a couple pennies. And so really, really high quality microfiber stuff. I'm also using their waffle weave microfiber glass towel. You'll see I'll focus in on that. I use that on all the exterior glass, as well as the Turtle Wax ceramic spray to protect and coat all the glass. I use that on the paint as well. And then lastly, on the tires, I'm using Renegade's rubber, vinyl, and plastic protector and dressing. I'm using that on the wheel wells as well, and I'm going to use Stoner's More Shine Tire Shine in conjunction with that, just because the aerosol can sort of reaches. But that Renegade rubber, vinyl, and plastic dressing is one of my favorites. It's water-based, and I'm going to spray it all over the wheels, and while it looks a little excessive, it kind of drips all around the tire, and because no one's going to be driving this Beamer for the rest of the day, it's going to have plenty of time to cure to the tire, and it just gives a fantastic shine and a really great deep black look. I've been using it a ton in recent videos. And then probably the most important and probably the most interesting product is the one I'm using very last on the black trim, on all the exterior black trim. This is a product you'll see near the end of the video called Details, and it's from a company called Showcar. I will hook up a link to it. It's one that's kind of my secret weapon, and I don't really show it a lot, and I give a lot of information out on the channel for free, but some things I still kind of play close to the vest because it took me a long time to learn and a lot of trial and error. So anyway, it's a product called Details. It's an incredible last-minute sort of final touch dressing. It comes in an aerosol can. Believe it or not, while I'm spraying it on all of the black trim, as you're going to see, it does not get a bunch of overspray on the paint or the glass. I know, it's crazy. You're going to wonder how. I don't know, but it just doesn't. It also makes the black trim look absolutely incredible, and while it's still drying, as you'll see in the end, it does dry and self-level and creates a completely uniform appearance. It can be used on the interior or the exterior, and it's just one of those products that, once again, not sponsored. It's just one of those products I keep with me no matter where I go because I can use it on chrome to create a uniform appearance. I can use it on black trim. Anything that looks like kind of spotty, I can spray this on there and it creates this awesome uniform self-leveling appearance that just looks incredible, and I think you guys are going to be able to see that result at the end here as well. Also, for this clay lubricant, I'm using Optimum No Rinse as I'm getting some of these last-minute bugs off. Now, with that being said, guys, stay tuned to the end of the video because I am going to give you just a little bit of information of where you can find these products. But first, if you guys like the information that you've been getting in this video, smash the thumbs up button because it'll help this video rank in the YouTube algorithm. And if you think this is good information, then hit the thumbs up button because it'll just help more auto detailers who probably also need some of this information to grow their business and become more profitable. It'll help them get this info, and it's totally free. So just hit the thumbs up button. That's what you guys can do for me if you're wondering. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to check out any of the products or the tools that I used in this video, check out the YouTube description box below because I list all of those out very organized so you guys can see those pretty conveniently. If you're new to the Wilson Auto Detailing channel and you haven't yet subscribed, but you love videos like this and it feels like you're getting some value, then hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you get notified when I publish any future videos. Guys, as always, thank you so much for being involved. And from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.